Spoiler warning, if you haven't completed Paper Mario The Origami King yet, then subscribe now and watch this video later. If you have completed this game, then subscribe now and keep watching this video. Here are 5 things in Paper Mario The Origami King that are strange plot holes, kind of weird, or don't have a good explanation. Number 1. Near the end of the game, when we make it back to Princess Peach's castle, Luigi falls down this hole here. And if you stand on this hole for long enough, you also fall down this hole. But what happens is, you take damage, you lose all of your HP, and it's game over. Okay, so Luigi falls into this exact same hole, and a few moments later, after we defeat the final boss, Luigi flies in with the Origami Master on his cart. And this leaves us with a few questions like, how did Luigi survive? Where did his cart come from? How did Luigi survive? How did he get the Origami Master from the middle of the Great Sea and come back so quickly? And lastly, how did Luigi survive? Number 2, near the beginning of the game, after being captured as a prisoner in Princess Peach's castle, we sneak around the castle, we peek into a room, and we see the stapler being used to turn Bowser's minions into origami soldiers. Bowser's minions were folded up, and Bowser was folded up, and they say, okay, all that's left is the mustached one now. But why didn't they fold up Luigi? Why didn't they fold up Mario? Why did they tell Mario to wait? Why didn't they take him and fold him up right away? They could have folded up Mario right away, and they could have folded up Luigi right away. But instead, what they did was they trapped Luigi behind a wall, and they left Mario locked in a dungeon where he was able to escape. And while we're on the topic of trapping people behind walls, what's the purpose behind that? At one point in the game, Olivia says that after Bowser's minions are turned into the origami soldiers, that there's nothing that we could do to turn them back, so we just have to defeat them and turn them into confetti. Number 3, Luigi finding the key to Princess Peach's castle. As you know, the key to Princess Peach's castle ended up being in the exhaust pipe of Luigi's cart, and I had an in-depth video taking a look at when was the most likely moment that ended up getting there. And it seems like the best theory that's available right now is near the beginning of the game when King Ollie was lifting up Princess Peach's castle, and we saw parts of the castle left behind, debris falling from the castle. It's most likely that the key ended up falling into the exhaust pipe of Luigi's cart at this moment, and the cart got flipped over, and nobody noticed that the key was in the exhaust pipe of Luigi's cart until the end of the game when Luigi brought the cart over to Princess Peach's castle. Now, this is already pretty unlikely, and what makes this even funnier is the fact that apparently Luigi didn't realize that the key was there all along, and Luigi even says, "I've been searching when the key was here all along." Number 4, Bobby's explosion. From a storytelling perspective and a character development perspective, Bobby's an incredible character. Bobby's explosion is a very important part of the story. But from other things that are available in the game, it just makes you wonder, do we really have no other way to move a boulder? We have castles with moats like Princess Peach's castle. We have theme parks built like Shogun Studios. We have huge cities in the desert built. We have towers built in the desert, but we don't have the technology to move a boulder. You have to have a friend sacrifice themselves in order to move a boulder. And sure, it makes sense that it would take some time to get this technology and bring it over and move the boulder, but what was the other option? Mario and Bobby, they go all the way back to Toad Town, they go to the Great Sea, they find a cruise ship, they explore the whole cruise ship, and then they come all the way back to the boulder. In that amount of time, would they have not been able to get some other kind of technology that they could use for moving this boulder, like the technology used for building these cities or these towers or this castle with the moat? And number 5, this one has perhaps the most reasonable explanation, and we took a look at this in my 10 facts about Paper Mario The Origami King video. After Bobby explodes and Olivia runs away, if we try to continue the game by going to the 1,000-fold arm circle without Olivia, then we get a message popping up saying that we need Olivia to use the 1,000-fold arm technique. But this isn't true at the very start of the game when we first meet Olivia. Olivia's trapped behind a wall, but we're still able to use the 1,000-fold arm technique to rescue her. Maybe this could be the explanation. Even though Olivia's trapped behind a wall, she's still close enough for it to activate when Mario gets to it, and that's why Mario's able to use the 1,000-fold arm to rescue her, but that's why it doesn't work in the cave. This is also consistent with near the beginning of the game, where there's a 1,000-fold arm circle that you have to use to knock over a tree, but You can't do that unless you rescue Olivia from nearby who's stuck in the ground. So this makes it seem like being able to use these magic circles is based on how close Olivia is to you, not based on if there's a physical barrier between you. For example, when Olivia's behind a wall but she's close to you, it still works. When she's nearby in the forest, she's too far so it doesn't work. When Olivia is in another room in a cave, it doesn't work because she's not close enough. And strangely enough, during the Handaconda fight, even though Olivia is very close to you, you're not able to use these magic circles. But this one does make sense as an exception to the rule because when you're stepping on the Vellumental circles, Olivia is the one that transforms, not Mario. So it makes sense that Olivia would have to be at the magic circle in order to transform, and the Thousandfold Arm circles is just Mario has to be there and Olivia has to be physically close. If you enjoyed this video, please consider clicking the subscribe button, and you could also check out my other content. I have a playlist of Paper Mario the Origami King memes and in-depth analysis. I also Twitch stream on Wednesdays and Fridays if you'd like to stop by and say hello sometime. So thank you for watching this video. I hope you have a lovely day and take care.